Sodium combines with chlorine to form sodium chloride. Now how does this reaction take place? Transfer of electrons. Sodium has got the electronic configuration 281, chlorine is having 287. The formation of sodium chloride makes the transfer of one electron from sodium to the chlorine. And we have studied it ionic formation. So when sodium loses its one electron, it forms Na plus and Cl minus. So therefore we can say sodium has lost one electron to form sodium chloride. So sodium is oxidized. It is oxidized to sodium chloride. And the next one, chlorine, during this process it has gained an electron. So we can say chlorine is reduced to sodium chloride. Understood the reaction? So I did explain all the three concepts. One is the changing in the number of oxygen atoms or hydrogen atoms. When hydrogen is lost, oxygen is gained, electron is lost, that is what is known as oxidation. And when hydrogen is gained, oxygen is lost and electrons are gained, then it is what is known as reduction. Clear the concept? Now transfer of electrons. Sodium loses one electron to sodium chloride. Therefore we can say that sodium is oxidized to sodium chloride. And chlorine has gained an electron, so chlorine is reduced to sodium chloride. Now understand it, sodium has lost its electron. The electron of sodium is taken away by chlorine. So who oxidized sodium? Chlorine has oxidized the sodium, therefore we can say chlorine is the oxidizing agent. And chlorine, to which one electron is needed, that was given by the sodium. So we can say that sodium is the reducing agent. So understand it, all oxidizing agents undergo reduction and all reducing agents undergo oxidation. Clear that? All oxidizing agents undergo reduction and all reducing agents undergo oxidation. This is what is known as redox. Redox has got major part in our day-to-day life. Say for example, you have studied in the lower classes, extraction of metal is always a reduction process. The metals mostly exist as metallic oxide. In some other we convert that into metallic oxide, and from that metallic oxide one oxygen is lost, and loss of oxygen is known as reduction. Therefore we say extraction of metal will always be a reduction process. Now sodium chloride contains sodium ions and chloride ions. To the sodium ions we add electrons. When electrons are added to the sodium, then sodium ion will get sodium. So this is also the reduction process. So electropositive ions to be converted into neutral atom, electrons are needed. So extraction of metal is always what we can say it as a reduction process. Understood it? So this reduction or redox is used in the extraction of metals. Then another one is, metals get oxidized. You know the rusting of iron, the metals get corroded. Corrosion is a process of oxidation. The metal get reacted with oxygen or any other substance. Pardon? The metal get reacted with atmosphere, metal get reacted with oxygen, the metal will be reacted with chlorine. Whatever is the process, the metal will be getting oxidized. So that oxidation of metal, that is corrosion of metal, comes under the oxidation process. That is redox. Remember, redox has got two terms, reduction and oxidation. If something is reduced, then it will also be getting oxidized also. The other thing, every chemical for a reaction to have two reactants. If one of the reactant is oxidized, then the other reactant will get reduced. Don't just think it this way, same reactant will be getting oxidized and reduced. Two reactants. Now another common example, all the reactions of displacement, what we had studied it the previous day, reaction of displacement will always be a reaction of redox. Any reaction of displacement. Now one example I will bring it out. One example goes this way. Yesterday we have studied when magnesium is put into copper sulfide solution. When we make the ions, it is Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus, and when the products are formed, it becomes MgSO4 plus Cu, and this MgSO4 has got 2 plus ions. So you can understand it. Magnesium over here, if you write the ionic equation, it is going to be Mg plus Cu2 plus becomes Mg2 plus and Cu. Now see the difference. Magnesium has lost electron. When an atom loses, neutral atom loses electron, it becomes positively charged. So what we can say, magnesium is oxidized to Mg2 plus. Clear? Cu2 plus is a positive ion, and the Cu2 plus has gained electron, it becomes converted into copper. So we can say that magnesium is oxidized Mg2 plus. Mg2 plus means oxidized to MgSO4. The next one, Cu2 plus is that one which is copper sulfate. It's gained electron, it is getting converted into, so we can say that it is reduced. So what shall we say? Magnesium is oxidized to MgSO4, and remember not Cu. Copper sulfate is reduced to copper. Magnesium, so from which reactant what product you need to mention? Magnesium to magnesium sulfate and copper sulfate to copper, and this is what is redox. So every reactions of displacement comes under the reaction of redox. In case a question is asked, explain the redox chemical, you can take any example. It's not necessary what is going to the NCERT book should be written in. Any example can be written in, provided there must be the transfer of electrons, or there must be the transfer of oxygen, or there must be the transfer of hydrogen. And this is what we call it as redox. Understood it clearly? Okay, now coming back to the next topic. Is what is said to be rancidity. Rancidity, since we have studied under the oxidation, one can take it as in the process of oxidation. Oxidation of the redox reactions. The food materials which, if not refrigerated for some time, especially during the summer season, few hours, it gets decomposed. Decomposed in the sense that you will be having the color, taste, smell, etc. gets changed. Then we say that the food is gone rancid. This is the meaning of rancidity. The food materials, anything, normally we say that the food material which has got water and oil in it, when it is not refrigerated for some time, it gets decomposed, and that decomposed food material is known as rancidity, and the food is become rancid. Now, how do we understand the food is become rancid? Rancid food is understood by change of its color, odor or smell, and taste. And rancid food is not good for consumption, so what we say that it is gone rancid. Rancid means the food is spoiled. And why do this rancidity take place? Normally you know that the food gets decomposed by the presence of bacteria. So the bacteria and the presence of oxygen or atmospheric oxygen get reacted and it get decomposed, and that is the meaning of rancidity. And how one can prevent rancidity? Now one such example is what they say, that the rancid food is to be stored in airtight containers. When it is stored in airtight containers, then actually what happens, that will be having less amount of oxygen, the rancidity will be, the rate of rancidity will be reduced, slightly, little bit, but you cannot prevent it completely. Then it should be packed in vacuum, and when the food is packed in vacuum containers, what happens, absence of oxygen, the rancidity is getting prevented it. So the food material will be rancidity, the rate of the food becoming rancid is slightly getting reduced. Then what we say that, you know that when you get any packed material from the market, it is written it must be consumed. Once it is opened, keep it under refrigeration. And why should it be kept under refrigeration? Because you know that the bacteria gets killed by two processes. I mean, not killed, their spreading can be prevented by two methods. One is bacteriostatic method and second is bactericidal, CIDAL. When we do the food materials in refrigerator, the temperature falls below, much below, so the bacteria cannot active, that is bacteria remain static, which is what we call it as bacteriostatic method. And the second method is we boil the material, When the food is boiled or heated at a high temperature, then the bacteria gets killed, the food is remaining safe. So all these rancidity process one can prevent if you don't allow the bacteria to multiply, and that can be done either by bacteriostatic or by bactericidal. And this gets developed only by the process of, we can say, vacuum packing, airtight containers, or there is another one, we say that antioxidant. These are normally certain chemicals added in the food material when it is packed that prevents the oxidation of the food material. Alright, rest we will take it tomorrow. Thank you.